Okay, so it's 2:17. I love it when it's the 17. 2:17 on the 25th. And now I keep seeing these astrology people. And now I'm remembering, oh yeah, that's what they kept on saying. It's this big transit, Jupiter, I don't know, some big astrological thing going on over the next week that hasn't happened in 12 years, and what the planets represent. And so they're saying, from the ones I've heard, and you could be having different ones say different things, and but from the ones I've heard, and the thing is too about like astrology and stuff, it's like, well, when we're basing everything on a fake ass sky and a fucking illusion, like, so it's got the tootie booty over there. They're all having a treat, but we'll probably hear in a minute that and I wanted to talk some about that. There's like a bunch of different things. And yesterday, as soon as I got done, I remembered something that I didn't finish over there. But there's a whole bunch of things, and it's always these things. And so, and then I think what it is that my mind starts trying to complete it instead of go with the flow. The more you can just relax and go with the flow, the more stuff comes to you. The more you try and force things, the more difficult you make it on yourself. Still, I told you I was going to do my work now. So you're going to have to come over here and lay down. I told you I would feed you after. Part of it is, I was going to say about communication with dogs and stuff. And especially hers and my relationship. Oh, because now we can listen to a 5-minute drinking. Hold on. Hold on. Let's all have a drink. A drink and a wipe. I'm messy. I'm messy on some things. I'm not messy at my house. I cannot stand. And to me, I mean, I know there's messy people. It's like, more power to you. If you want to be messy, be messy. But to me, messes make me have anxiety. It's scattered stuff. It's like things that have a place to be and they're not there. It's like my mind is just putting things where they need to be. And it's like, no, God, I gotta have shit picked up. Otherwise, my mind is, already, if I go into a room, anything that, like in my mind, I follow like a circuit. And it's kind of like, I learned more about it like in art stuff. It's like your eye will travel around and to look at what's interesting or follow color patterns and stuff. And so as soon as I go in a room, my mind will start doing that and looking for something that's out of place, and then I'll start trying to put things in place. So I go to people's houses and I'm redecorating while they're talking to me and everything. It's like, that's too much, man. My brain is too much. Okay, now can you lay down, please? But I was going to say, so this morning, and outside, you know, we have this big, motherfucking shit. Okay, please just lay down, okay? Stella, come over and get on your bed. How about that? No, I don't need that. I don't need a bath. Stella, I really don't need a bath. Okay? I love you too. Which licking is a sign of submission. Is what I just learned recently. Please go lay on your bed, okay? Just go lay on your bed, okay? So, anyways, what I was saying was, so I woke up and I had no idea what time it was, but I was just laying there awake and I'm thinking, fuck, man, what time could it be? But I slept a lot. I've been sleeping so much, it's weird. So, anyways, so I wake up and I'm, oh, I got hair in my mouth. Oh, God damn it. It's not just like one hair, too. It's like a little fuzz ball or something. I was like, what is it? There's so much hair. Bugs everywhere. I can't wait to get in my own place and unpack. Which I have a story about that shit. Oh, yeah, and I have another good story, too. Okay, I got a lot of stories, so I gotta speed it up, man. I gotta pick up, get on the big stick. Okay, the so anyways, about the dog telepathy thing. So, anyways, when I woke up and I'm laying there and I'm getting uncomfortable and I'm sitting there listening to her just snoozing, she's just snoring, sawing logs, and it's real peaceful log sawn pattern. And so I'm like, I don't want to get up because then I'll disturb her and she'll get up. But always, if I'm in a state of certain consciousness, she follows. It's like, when she wakes up, it's like I can't sleep through it. It's over for me. I just get up. And so it's the same thing for her. And it's just been this way for a long time, this psychic connection. And which, because she's a spirit animal to me, so we're on a vibration, like we are, I don't know, a match. And we've gone through a lot of experience together, or I've created her to go through experience. I don't know, like every little fucking thing, because that always weirds me out. Like, because on one level we are all one. So I don't know. It's just trippy when you think about what's real, and that we are all one, and we're in this. Just it's a thought pattern. It's not a real brain that's floating around out in space and creating globes inside. It's energetic, but it works like your brain, like a grid, kind of like it sparks and sends out signals and stuff. So that is more like the micro macro, not that it's a flesh and blood brain out there. So anyways, but you can connect to that brain because you are a part of that brain, so you can connect to it. But you got to focus in that direction where people are super distracted and they don't focus in the right direction, so then they feel lost because they're not connected. They're not connected to themselves. They're not connected to the universal mind. So anyways, hold on. So anyways, when she woke up, and of course because I can't be awake without her waking up, and so then I got up, came out right away. She just goes over to where the treats are, sits down. Yeah, this is what I want. And so she like knows how to communicate, and she knows that I understand her, and other dogs have that awareness. And I was thinking, because I think a lot of people think like dog communication is some weird far-fetched thing. Some people communicate with them and have whole little narrative, little scripts going or whatever. But to me, it just feels like you just know certain things because you just like pay attention. It's like you're just paying attention to their communication, to what they're telling. I don't know what it is, but anyways, but other dogs can recognize. And so everywhere I go, and then it's like everybody's dog is on me. It can be very overwhelming. And so, and it will piss Stella off because she cannot stand other dogs thinking they can move in on me. But it's just funny because in this little pack, this little trio here, is that they know that I don't listen to them all the time because I don't want to get them in the same thing. And so sometimes I pretend like I don't know what they're asking. but, and I'm sure they can hear me right now. And then, because they're all paying attention. But what they have done is they rely on her. So it's like they are like an extension of her in their communication. Like anything that they'll be paying total attention when they know she's asking for something. And then they pay total attention to when she's going to get it and stuff. And they're right on it. So when she's not saying something, they kind of just are, kind of like just waiting and waiting. But when she is, boy, they are paying attention all the time. And she knows, like, that I know what she's talking about. So she gets mad and she digs in and, no, I want this. And it's like, so, and I am very much, I don't know, committed to the perspective of everything that's alive has some kind of energetic soul or consciousness, depending on its state of consciousness, what you would refer to it as. But it's all living things. It's all real, having an experience. And I don't want to be a negative part of that experience. And so I give a lot of respect to all sovereignty kind of beings, no matter what it is, you know, even the earwig or thing that I cannot stand those motherfuckers. I just got bit by one the other day. The little bitches, you know, won't get off my chair. I don't know where it's hiding. And I come out and lay in the chair, and then it just comes over to bite me all the time. There was just one in here, but I didn't just crush it. I just went and threw it outside. Because it's alive, it can stay alive, but it doesn't mean I haven't crushed things. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm just, you know, be like me. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how I look at things and what I see and what I do. And because Amy was talking to me yesterday, and she was having a conversation with somebody, and there's just lots of people who just, you know, oh, as soon as your dog, you know, is tired and getting older, it's time to put them down, get rid of them. It's just like, no, we have a relationship. They're still having a life. They're still living. And don't forget, I had that friend who told me, what was that, like 4 years ago now, when Stella got so sick. Oh, just put her down. Look at how much time we have had. It's like, but anyways, I look at them, like I look at her, is that she's going through an experience. And she like lets me know too, when I'm butting in on her experience and stuff. And every soul gets their own experiences, their own package of things that happen to create intelligence, create connection, to create a being. And so, well, you give your own value to yourself. Even though you're a valuable being, you still are the one who's writing the price tag, basically, until you reach a certain point of really understanding yourself or something. Okay, so hold on, because I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. Hold on. First, oh, my stomach's going crazy. I think it's freaking that water stuff. So, I just want to do this because I always feel like, well, I don't want to forget. So, I mean, this is a fourth package. It's so ridiculous. These girl, I don't know, maybe some people's hair just grows super fast, but, you know, a week, it's down to here. And mine's yeah, that is months. I'm on the 4th month. Time is so weird. It's like I've been here since the beginning of January, and now it's about to be July. And so I was doing this almost the whole time. That's weird. I don't know. Things are weird. So, anyways, let's look at my tooth. And I keep having these weird I don't know. I keep for one thing I'm trying to really work on my own self is I tighten these muscles. I think I've done it ever since I was a kid, so I'm really good at it. So I tighten these muscles. I grip my jaw because everything's tense, and so I'm like, ugh. And so these muscles get super sore. And so I'm trying to really work on learning how to just like pay attention to the tension in my jaw and learn how to relax it and stop like holding it so tense, because it just gets it sore and it makes your teeth sore. Max, would you just lay down, please? Scroungy motherfucker. No, I didn't say come get in my face. Okay, so this, okay. Where do I want to start? Okay, hold on. Well, this I thought was cool. So I'll start with this. So, like I said, that, okay, and some of these things are difficult. Like when you know, it's easy to talk about things. It's hard to put them into action. And so when you talk about making yourself vulnerable, putting yourself out there, setting boundaries, taking care, like that's a fucking big thing, you know, it's a lifetime. So it's a lot. And this is a big shifting perspective from being a follower into being an independent. And so This is a big shift. This is the bridge to leaving one era and going into another. And which I saw a lady talking about this, but I've said this a bunch of times, that we're not in the age of Aquarius like all these people keep saying. We're in the age of Aquarius. Now, we'll know when we're in the age of Aquarius because it'll be different. We're not in it. We're bridging it. We're bridging to it. A lot change. You don't just, like I've said and said, you don't just go from one thing to the next. There's a process to happen to get there. We're in the process of getting there. But we're not there yet. She was saying like 100 years from now or something, which I may have already talked about this. I don't remember. But anyways, so I think it's sooner than that. But you know, all I know is that that's where we're headed, and we're gonna get there, and it's gonna be great when we do. But there's work. So you don't just go from one thing to the next like that. Like this whole quick fix. This is like a part of humanity, of like how they process or something. The quick fix, the give it to me quick, I want it now, I don't have time to wait, all these things. And so this, I think, is where they misinterpret manifesting, living by intention, and which will lead to the quantum era of learning how to control the energy. And so this thing about, you know, you just, if there's something you don't like, you just put yourself somewhere else and you just leave the scene and you quantum leap out of it. Change timelines so you don't have to deal with it. So anyways, there's things that are going to be like, just their whole thing with manifesting and stuff, there's just a lot of stuff that they are misinterpreting. And there is not, the one lady who I saw the other day, I don't even know if I talked about this one yet, freaking out. No, I don't think I did, because it was yesterday, I think, is when he cussed on TV. And people, like, me and Amy were cracking up. But there's people who were freaking out. Oh my God, can you believe it? Oh, it's way worse than I thought. It's like, he's just like us. Like, how would we be talking? How do we talk when we're all talking to each other? And then people get all offended. Oh, we want back this phony politicians and stuff. It's like, oh my God, it's so weird. So anyways, but you know, they'll all come into tune. God, there's always weird fucking sounds. I went and stood outside and have a smoke this morning when I got up. And, well, smoke, it's a couple of puffs, joint, or couple puffy thing. So anyways, but I'm standing out there, and I'm just listening to all the natural noises, but there's always in the back of my mind, like, where's those skin shifting, or the skinwalkers? What creatures could be out here lurking? And so I'm just standing there, like with the one part of my alertness, like my peripherals going around, like, but I'm just trying to enjoy the sounds of the frogs and stuff like that. And then I heard something and a stick crack break. I was like, fuck this. So when I hear things hit up against the house and stuff, it's like, what the fuck is out there? Which the birds haven't started singing yet. Maybe we'll catch it when they start. It's pretty quiet right now, huh? It's dark as shit out there. There's no moon or anything. There's supposed to be this big full moon happening. So anyways, back on this thing. So when you're healing and stuff, there's a lot of steps that you have to take that are very difficult, especially when nobody has taught us and we're trying to figure it out. And there's like certain things that have been dropped that I've heard throughout my life that have gotten new reference or new meaning to me as I've awakened. One of them was about being assertive. This was something I heard way back in the 80s. They pushed on this thing to be assertive, but not be, what is that word? Aggressive. So don't be aggressive, be assertive, and don't wait, and build your aggression through, I'm adding this part. Don't wait and build your aggression through resentment. So many people do that. Like, instead of being assertive and putting themselves out there, being vulnerable, setting a boundary and saying what they believe or whatever, instead they build up a resentment and an anger, and then we have these energetic entanglements these things where, you know, you've got these dramas going in your life and you don't know how to get out of them. So, I said, and what I had noticed that I triggering people. Like, oh my gosh, doesn't take anything. Like, I swear to God, I can just look over and it's like trigger. Like, I can fucking, I'm a walking trigger right now, a walking catalyst or something. It's trippy because you think it would be a good thing, but it brings up a lot of stuff in people. And so, um, I've been kind of dealing with that. Like, and then anything I say is just right away, like, what? It's just like, uh, uh, it's super easy to hurt people's feelings right now. Super easy. So, it happened yesterday. And so this what I just was, I don't know, proud of myself. Because, I reacted differently than I would have reacted before. I, the old Kelly had to sit in observation of the new Kelly because the new Kelly is taking over. I'm on my journey as the new Kelly, and in the Lord, the universe is giving me opportunities to see who that new Kelly is, and she's got her shit together, man. In some cases, I don't want to be too, because the test will come in, you know, and you do kind of taunt. But you're always going to do what you're going to do, and things are always the way they're supposed to be, and all that stuff. So, anyways, it was a medical thing, and there's people who still like there's like a separation kind of happening. But a lot of people are like, well, they would separate for this or that, but they have this, and there's, well, you know, I gotta go for this, but everybody else, you know, they could be doing something different, but, you know, this. And so it's like you make your own story. And everybody does this. I've noticed. This is just a common characteristic of mankind. So they create their own storyline to affirm to themselves what they're doing is correct and they've got to do that and there's no other way or whatever. God dang. So anyways, and on the medical, you know, I went through it, you know. I'm not just, I went through it. It's not just based on the shit I hear or whatever. I went through some fucking shenanigans. I went through them where, you know, I could have died. And it's like they've been out to kill me the whole motherfucking time, seriously. And, you know, I kept on pulling through and pulling through. And so it gives me a certain perspective. And then through my awakening thing and seeing the truth behind the illusion has given me a whole nother perspective. So I built my perspective on, you know, the corporation, Western medicine, the government, all these things are failing us, and it's one big beast, it's one big entity, and then it's the tentacles in our lives. They keep us sucked in, and so so I have a perspective of like, there's no fucking way. And I have had something come to my mind was like, well, what if you got bit by a brown recluse and your body started caving in? Would you go to the doctor then? And it's like, okay, let's not taunt the universe, please. Let's just, what happens, whatever happens, happens, and you got to make your choices at the time. But I also think, well, oregano oil is an antibiotic. Like, so there's other things I could do. It's not like I want to taunt the universe and see. And I'm living out in a garage with fucking bugs everywhere. So, anyways, and besides the government bugs, those little microscopic motherfuckers bite like a bitch too. It's like, this fucking bullshit, man. I'm sick of it. So, but things are changing. That's the good news. And, oh yeah, because there was a signal I sent out yesterday at the grocery store to somebody. That was cool. I'm gonna tell that story too. Okay, but I'm gonna tell this story first. So this one. So Um, okay. So, the story was that trying to apply for a grant for a medical procedure. I'm like, a grant? Now, why would you need a grant for a medical procedure? If you have insurance, why would your insurance pay for the procedure? And then it's like, well, you just don't understand, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, I worked in medical. I also worked in a doctor's office, as an office manager. I did go through insurance. I had to go through all that shit. I've never seen that. But then when I was married, number 4, I did see this. So I understood what she was talking about. Is he had to be on this super expensive medicine for his seizure condition and epilepsy. And so he had to take this medicine, and he didn't have insurance, so he could fill in a grant, and the company will give him the money, the medicine free. Okay, are you? I was pretty dumbfounded when I found that out. I was just like, what in the fuck, man? That's some fucking bullshit, man. So everybody else, what the fuck? Like, oh my god. It's such a fucking pile on, man. People go and have to work for more and have to get more and more and more and more when it's just a fucking game, man. Especially when you get into the point of the illusion of understanding how they use foundations and shit. Because somebody's got to be catching that laundry as it's going through the circuit. And so it is so fucking much nonsense and shenanigans. Oh, well, we got to get this grant to come in and disperse it. But we got a lot of people who got to be paid in this corporation, in this LLC, in this non-profit. I mean, we got salaries to pay in this shell company where there's no real existence. It's like, it's so fucking bullshit, man. I swear to God. So, anyways, I was just like, I was like, well, it just makes no sense to me. You have insurance, but you have to go, and foundations are bullshit. It's all fucking shenanigans, all bullshit, and it's just fuckery, man. Well, that was a huge trigger for that other person, and so to me, I was like, well, I'm not argue. You said that, and I said my opinion about it, and my opinion doesn't shift gears. If we're talking about medicine, Western medicine, you're gonna always hear the same fucking shit from me. It's gonna come out every time. And I had how many fits about what my brother's choice over who he's trusting through this. Like I I have a perspective, and I'm pretty solid on it. And so anyways, so I just got quiet. I was just like, well, I'm not gonna argue. What's the point? It's like, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. The two may not ever meet. So let's just go about our business. And so I just became quiet. I just didn't say anything. I was just like, well, And to me, it's like I'm being respectful. Like, I'm not going to sit there and tell you you're crazy and argue and get out the drawing board and try and explain to you how the system works. It's like, okay. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how it fucking sucks how this medical has got people sucked in like this, and that people trust them, and just all this stuff. I'm thinking, this fucking system bullshit. And it's pointless to say anything. But this is the thing, too, is where people pick up on people's thoughts. And I'm very connected with my mom and my kids. There's been a psychic connection ever since I was a kid. And as soon as my kids were, then there's just been this connection, this energetic, telepathic connection. Like, I can hear what she's thinking all the time. Well, she can hear what I'm thinking all the time. And there's constant, the same thing at the same time. Because it's like this, I don't know how it works. Like, is it, is it like my soul going out and how, like, I don't know. but it's always been this thing. And I try and use it to my advantage. I try and, if there's something that I want to say, I don't just say it. I just put it out there, send it to them. And so, and I've done that for a long time. And so anyways, some, so anyways, so after I just got quiet, she could hear. She's listening to my thoughts. She's getting madder and madder. And then I was like, what are you getting so mad about? I said, and this is where I'm talking, okay? This is the part where you can choose the healthy way or the reactive way. And so I was like, what are you getting so mad about? And she's like, I don't know. I can hear what you are thinking. And you just start pouting. I said, I'm not pouting. I said, I don't care. I'm just trying to be respectful. There's no point in arguing about it. Like, I mean, this is my opinion. I have this opinion over medical. That's just the way it is. You're not going to change me. I said, why do you care? Like, why is it affecting you? What I think. It's just my opinion. I said, you have your own. You know, what is it? Why? Why do you need anything about mine? Why can't I have my own? And so it was more of a real talk than just this reacting back and forth, you know, and trying to tell somebody. And so it was like it's like you gotta call out the situation. And I had this other time where that happened, where I was like getting attacked, and I was like, what is all this judgment? And it's like, wait a minute, this is judgment, we're judging? It's like, yeah. And so, anyways, but when you call people out on that kind of stuff, all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I don't want to be judgmental. So, so then when I put, threw the ball back without, trying to hit it, I was just like, why, what is it in you that needs me to agree with you in order to find your peace? Like, why can't you just be like, oh, well, it's her opinion, I'm good with what I'll, and she was stopping. She was like, I don't know why. I was like, because it's fine. I'm not judging you, I promise. I'm not sitting here thinking you're a real idiot. I said, I don't like this system. I'm against it. But you have every right to live how you want to live, 100% think that. Nobody's supposed to just, that's karmic entanglements. Well, you got to do what I say. Otherwise, you're not living right. That's not how we want to be. We don't want to have these entanglements with people. Which this girl, this is something that's going around on TikTok in a certain community. And this girl, a few months ago, she was driving somewhere with her mom. She died for 12 minutes and she went and talked to Jesus. I didn't listen to the whole thing because I don't know, because I already know this stuff. I'm not. And so she said, she died, and the car wreck happened, and it happened super fast. It was just like, all of a sudden there's a scream, there's a look, and all of a sudden you're out of your body. And she's watching from looking out, and she sees her mom crying. She sees them trying to work on her, and her brother's in the ambulance. She's seeing all this stuff going on, and she said then it kind of like she was sucked up. And so this is when she left. But see, people always hang around. And so, so she's, and this is something that people is like, don't get. Like, the souls are around you all over the place. But anyways, so she sucked up and she said it was like going through a tunnel. But she said it wasn't scary. So kind of like we come into the birth canal, like what I was saying the other day, how we are like birthed into this energy through like a portal. And we come in through this energy, and so then you go back out same way. And so she comes back out to this portal, and it goes up into the heavens, and Jesus is standing there waiting for her. So lots of people have these experiences. That doesn't mean it's the only experience to have. There can be a lot of different things. This is how, and I don't know. Is he introducing himself, or is it an assumption? Is it her higher self? Is it her guide? And she's assuming, through her indoctrination or whatever. I don't know. But there's people who say, Jesus was there and stuff. And so, anyway, she said that. And so he took her to show her something. He wanted to show her something about the world or whatever. And so she goes and she's seeing from his perspective. So she's looking down on the world because there's a whole observation thing watching us all the time. We're always being watched. And it's just trippy how now we have these giant faces in the sky and stuff. But so the so in the watching in the perspective, she saw all of these kids and they all were looking down. They were all, and she said she saw like these chains binding them to their phones. And they were all like more tentacles kind of attaching to this thing that was drawing all their energy out. And so there was certain things that she had seen. For one thing was that, and the tentacles of this what you hold on to, kind of like what I'm always saying, the things you got to let go of, and then it will feel like you're not holding on to anything. But it's these things that you hold on to in this world to give you an idea or perspective of who you are. And so you got to let go of those. And so in his kids, they're having a lot of toxic self evaluation, like, and so because he showed her too, is that they never look up, they never go do anything, they're just attached to this to give them feedback, but all they see is people that they think are better than them. They think everybody's better than them. They've got more than them. They're prettier than them. These filters and stuff is making them feel really insecure about themselves. And so they really just are down on themselves and hating themselves. And so they're all attached in these lines, holding on to these perspectives. They're surrounded by dark energies. She said that there's all these dark shadows around them. And so she asked, what's that? And I already know what it is. It's the dark energy. It's the energy I've been saying, that attached to you when you're a kid. And you got to actively get it the fuck off of you. And it feeds off of your despair. It feeds off your sadness, your insecurity. And so it surrounds you. And then I think that's one of the problems. We have so many kids that are in the dark right now because they're surrounded by darkness and they don't know how to get out of it. But the world's about to shine a big light. And so, anyways, I didn't listen past that because I was like, I already know I don't know. She could have said more things that I didn't know, but I don't know. I already have my own perspective over what we got going on. And so it's like I don't really need any confusion or whatever. So but I think she was just going to say the same stuff because I keep hearing people say the same things I'm saying, only they'll say it in a kind of a different way. But it's like, no, I feel certain that I'm right about how I see things, and I don't need to go in and have it changed by anybody else or something. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, maybe that's rigid or whatever, but everything's a spectrum. So we got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And so it's like, yeah, well, I'm this and I'm that. So anyways, the dark energy is what I've been talking about for so long, and it's all around, and we're in its realm, and we are in the game. We would be fighting against it, but you have to gain awareness because it's kind of taken over, where people have lost their ability to interact or see the darkness. But like I said, in other lifetimes and stuff, the blinders were on so that you just focused on the experience, not the world around you. But we're at a different time now, and so now it's to focus on the world around you and having awareness of that. But anyways, I knew about this long time ago, and so anyways, on that, okay, I'll go back over to, so anyways, so I was like, why can't I just have my opinion, you have your opinion? Why would my opinion affect you so much that you get so upset? Because And then she, well, said I was pouting or whatever. And I said, I'm pouting. I said, I don't care. I said, I'm not going to, out of respect, I'm not going to start arguing with you. What's the point of that? I don't want to sit and argue about something. There's no reason to argue about it. It's just opinion. But as characters of our own, we got to become comfortable in our opinions. Quit depending on other people to agree with us to be comfortable. We got to be like, okay, well, you don't agree. We have different opinions. It's fine. And but it's so much deeper though, because it's I don't know, when you, in certain roles or relationships, you feel a lot of time, where you can't stand up for yourself. You can't say anything. What's the point of saying anything and stuff like that? So it's going past that. It's getting past that kind of fear of like, well, I'm going to get in trouble, get yelled at and stuff like that. So that's the part of the vulnerability, the setting a boundary, and it's always going to be harder. It's going to be harder and harder, where it's people who you felt like, there was lots of times throughout my whole life where it was like, even if I tried to stand up for myself, it just was a battle, and I didn't know what to do with it. It was just like, so I was really proud of myself that I figured out like what to do with it, and no matter how uncomfortable it was, I was still able to say, hey, I can believe what I want to believe, and you can believe what you want to believe, and there's, we don't need to argue about it. And if it's that tense, let's just not talk about medical. And but to put it back over where it belonged, so that she could self-reflect and be like, and not get caught in the drama, not get caught in the back and forth, so that she could go in and self-reflect. And then I was dropping her somewhere, so I left it as giving a hug and saying, I promise you, I'm not sitting there judging you, whatever the things you do, thinking you're a stupid idiot. Things that I look at in my judgment is the way that this system has got their tentacles wrapped around people, and it's just sucking them in, and it's so deep, and the religion one is going to be so Lord. So and medical, there's just so much. And so, yeah, I'm not going to argue. People are programmed and indoctrinated, especially older people, man. They cannot see the world as being anything different than what it is. And so it's going to be a lot of shakeup for a lot of different people. A lot of things are going to keep being really uncomfortable, and which was one of the stories I was going to tell. So I went, and when I dropped her, I went across the street to go get water and get a couple things at the store. So when I went in there, I went back, I grabbed a couple things, and went and got the water, and you gotta stand there, and you gotta keep filling it, and it only goes for 1 gallon, you gotta push the button and keep filling it. So I'm standing there, filling my thing, and somebody comes, stands behind me, and there's a second water, like there's two, one right next to the other. And I only have one. I've had where I'm using both, but right now I'm just using one. And so I see, there's somebody standing behind me with their water, and I say, oh, there's another one right here. So she goes like, oh yeah, okay. And she comes up and she starts putting her thing on, and she just seems real like scattered or overwhelmed or whatever. And she says, I'm just so out of it. It's like I don't even realize like what's going on or something. And so, open door. So I start saying, yeah, it's weird. It's like the world is kind of doing something weird, and time, and it's like you don't even know what is the day, what's the time, what's the month, what are we doing here, what's happening? And she's like, yeah. And she said, and it's like it's all in the I said, it's like the world is something. And she goes, yeah, it's like it's upside down. And I said, yeah, but I don't remember the whole conversation, but I did say, but it's about to flip right side up. And she's like, really? And I said, yeah, well, it's gonna flip. And I started explaining some stuff to her, and it was giving her such relief, like, and she was like, oh, I'm so glad I got to talk to you, because yeah, whatever, the people are getting so stressed about like war, and all the stuff, and this guy's a monster, and you know, it's just a lot. And so, and then the feel, and then all of the stuff coming in to burden you over what you haven't dealt with, and the things the universe is taking away from people and stuff. So it's a lot, and people are really overwhelmed and stuff. And so she was very, and it's like drowning in this energy of chaos. And so it was like I turned the light on in the window, like a what is that, a lighthouse or something, for some, like an energetic lighthouse for somebody, to tell them like, no, it's gonna get better. And I said the energy is gonna flip. It's like, you can't explain it all to thoroughly. But anyways, there was some stuff where I said things are gonna be seen that wasn't seen before, and it's gonna flip, and we're really close to this. And I said, and she was like, oh, really? You really think so? I said, oh, it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely gonna flip. And I mean, it's just a universal action. It's not like I'm making it up. I just, you know, understand how the universe works, I guess, and how energy works, I guess. I don't know, because it's clear to me. And so, she's like, oh, you really think so? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And I said, but the thing is that when it first goes, it's going to be very intense. Like, it's going to be intense, yeah, you know, but it's going to get better. Just remember, it's going to get better. And she was just like so relieved, just, you know, because I don't know, people are really scared and overwhelmed. And so it is, you know, when you have these opportunities, just chat with people, because those little kind of, it's gonna be okay kind of moments, people need them. You know, it's very all consuming, and like, motherfuck, the crimes going on right now, the people doing to their kids, it's like, how much more disturbing can shit fucking get? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, how dark can you come up with shit to do to a child? Like, oh, and if you haven't heard about the wedding in France, the Disneyland, that they got busted. A 22-year-old was marrying a 9-year-old, and the 9-year-old's mother was there giving her away, like, or selling her, whatever. They tried to be like, oh, it's a spoof, it's a video we're doing for entertainment purposes only. And it's like, no, they arrested some people. People got arrested. So, marrying a 9-year-old. And the guy's like, what the fuck? What? But, you know, I mean, at least that's better than the guy who's going and taking his adorable little 5-year-old out and putting a tire on top of her and starting her on fire. You know, at least that's better. Or the one, you know, and, the one who fed her husband, the kids. There's another one of those. It's like, oh my God, I just, oh, fuck this world. And then there's people who want to say this isn't hell. It's like, well, then you're just living too much in the dark, because this is hell. If you get some light in you, this is fucking hell. So, anyways, and it's the fucking people's energy, man. Like okay, this is where we're at with the house thing. I'm just, oh man, I'm ranting yesterday. So, yesterday, you know, always reading the signs. You know, pay attention to the signs. I can't stress that enough. There's signs all around you, but you got to pick up on them. It can be somebody saying something to you. It can be a whole bunch of things. But so my daughter had said, you know, have you heard yet on the application? I said, no, I was expecting to yesterday. I still haven't heard anything. And so she's like, well, if you haven't heard anything by this afternoon, or in a little while, call them or message them. And I said, okay, I will, like, after lunch or whatever, because I was kind of thinking that, but that was my sign, is like, yeah, do that. And so I kept checking my emails, thinking, you know, I'm going to hear something about my application. So then I call the number. So this number for, I don't know, they've got their own little LLC name, I guess, because they've named themselves Callahan Rentals, but it's the person's last name or something, I guess. And but they don't even have a business phone. So I call this number, And it's just like a person answered the phone. Hello. I said, oh, I'm calling about a rental. And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah. And I said, oh, okay, well, I was calling about my application. And I start saying, and I think she said something, asked me who I was or whatever. And right away she starts telling me, well, she said, well, I cannot rent to your mom, and without even meeting her. So she starts talking to me like I'm my daughter, because I'd already emailed this lady and told her I wasn't going to be at this appointment, this showing, that my daughter was going to be the one there. My daughter told me my daughter told her when she was there, and she talked to her because she was her mammogram lady. So she talked to her and told her she was looking for me because so I could be by the grandkids and stuff like that. So she knew already. So there's a lot of opportunities where she could say something like this, like, well, until I meet her, there's no way. And I have to meet her in person. In, I mean, why not even over, what is that called? FaceTime or something. Why not over that Zoom call or something? So now it's whatever, 5 days after the application, and she's like, well, there's no way unless I meet her. It's like, oh, so you couldn't tell her that when she was there looking at the place, instead of saying, sending an email out, okay, now you can apply. And instead of saying it to her while you're there, well, tell her she has to come over and meet me, and then she can put in an application. No, don't say that. No. And so, anyways, I'm like, it's me. I'm the person on the application. And she's still talking over me, lecturing me on this, that I can't, my application will go nowhere unless she's met me. And I was like, this is me. I'm saying it again. And so wherever caught into her brain, and she started listening to me. And then, so I started asking questions. And she says, oh, we have way too many applications. Like, we have got so many. We are not even close to being done going through them. And now she's told me, though, that I have no chance because she hasn't even met me. And so then she says that they have tons of applications. They've got to go through them. They haven't made any decision. She's going to show them to her husband, and they're going to be making a decision by weekend. So this, Callahan Rentals or whatever, this LLC or whatever they call themselves, her and her husband. And so, and they're going to make the decision together. But this is where I was questioning a lot on this because this is some fucking nonsense bullshit. So I said, a lot of applications. I said, she's like, yeah, well, we're with 3 or 4 different rental agencies or whatever. So they've got ads all over the place. And so, and every day she's getting more applications. Like, she's just got so many. I'm just like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding? I didn't say this, but I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, lady? And I said, so you just take in all these applications, so, and everybody's paying like $55 and you're just racking them in? Oh, well, I don't get the money for it. That goes somewhere else. I don't get any of the money for the applications. It's like, okay, lady, you're having all these people pay this company all this money so you can get 100 applications so you can go through and figure out who you think is the best for your little fucking place, instead of taking each application as it comes in and being like, oh, well, this application, no, sorry, you don't coincide with our requirements or whatever, nope, you're not a good fit. Which, who the fuck is a good fit with this chick, man? I swear to God, this is like, are you the devil? Like, and so she just arguing with me, like, but she's perfectly within her rights. She can have, zillion applications. And at this point, I'm thinking, there's no way I'm getting this place because I'm standing up right here, right now. Like, this is bullshit, man. And so I keep questioning this thing on this applications. And she's like, well, there's all these different companies and everybody's, and I don't know how much each person's paying. Well, I tell you right here, now you can get it's $55 per person. I mean, some of them are even $70. And then if you got two people, you got you and your roommate, and these places are racking up so you can have a fucking big old goddamn thing to decide who's best, not giving a shit. All these fucking hopeful people who are sitting here lining up thinking that they've got an application in to see if they're going to get this place. But no, it's a competition. It's a, we're going to pick the best of the best. It's like this guy, you know, I know energetically this is going to blow up in this chick's face. Like she doesn't see what's coming, but what you're putting out, like what you're putting out is fucking fuckery, dude. This is what, you know, when you're thinking about what you're putting out in the world, what energy you're putting out, what you're feeding off of, this is where you want to pay attention. And so she, so because it's within her rights that she can just load up for over a week. How many weeks, dude? Like how many weeks has she been just taking in application after application, not denying, not telling anybody anything, deciding who is going to be her best thing? Well, all these people are paying all this money. So I even messaged the place and I said, can we use our applications again to other places in the same company? And nope, you got to put one on every single one. So we all have no hopes of getting this place up against 100 people or whatever her thing. She made a point a bunch of times. Oh, I have so many, so many. I mean, and now I've got this going on today and that going on today, and I don't have time. I said, but I have to come over there and meet you in order to even move mine forward. I said, I'm not going to go and drive $100 over there to come over there and meet you if mine's not even going to move up. I said, if my application's going to move up, then I'll drive over there. But at this point, I'm already like, there's no fucking way. She's not going to take somebody who's going to, and besides the fact, when she's so dead set on getting to see me, soon as she sees me, she definitely would be like, oh, drug addict, because of all my tattoos. I mean, this is who I was picking up on in this lady. And not giving a shit, no empathy or compassion towards the money that people have to come up with for moving or what anybody's situation would be, and the need for housing for people and stuff. And so no, nothing. It's just like racking it up instead of each application come in, go through it, decide. No. She needs a whole bunch, and she didn't give a shit how much these people are paying. She's not getting the money, so why the fuck does she care? It's like, because you're a fucking human and you have compassion and empathy for what's going on in the world, you fucking weirdo. I couldn't even believe it. I was just like, what in the hell? And especially like when my daughter was there looking at the place, and you couldn't tell your mom not to send an application until she comes over here and meets me because it's not going to go anywhere. No, got to get that one in too. Why the hell not? I was just like, what in the piece of shit? Thank you for fucking dodging that bullet, man. Because there's no way. And even when I was saying something about the applications and the fees and all this stuff, and she goes, well, I don't know. You know, I haven't rented a place in like 40-something years, so I don't know anything about that. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, you know, I rented one time with my daughter, and we rented that house a few years ago, and we had it for a few months because they put it up for sale as soon as I rent. That's my experience with renting, except for when I was a kid and first moved out, which, fuck, I don't know, that was 40 years ago. And so, yeah, I've been in my own home for a long time, which I was like, God, and to have this person be over your home, and and just her whole attitude. It's like, you are a landlord, you're renting a place, and this is how you act, this is how you behave, this is how you even talk to people and stuff. It's like, yeah, well, you know, when you think you're holding all the power, then you do whatever you want. But this is where things get beautiful. So I was just like, you know, it was just going and going and going in my mind. I kept going up the stairs. Besides the fact, what about, you know, just like this fucking bullshit shenanigans. And just because that you can do something, does it mean it's right? Does it mean you should do something? Like, think it through and think about, you know, compassion and empathy towards other people, not just your own selfishness, your own indulgence. And oh, I've got to have everybody's application. I might not get the right one. It's like, yeah. So so I'm, you know, doing my ranting and so I'm down here and I'm looking on TikToks, and then one came up that said Donald has just passed a law or something. He just came out and said that this is what they're going to do. Is in order to get rid of homelessness and stuff, they're going to give everybody an acre of land. Huh? What did I motherfucking say? How long have I been saying this? And so, I guess this guy was saying it's on all the news, CNN, Fox, everybody's reporting about this Donald now. He's going to give away acres of land to people. So we'll, you know, we don't know how fast this is going to come, because there's going to be drama to show us who's holding on to the land and why and stuff like that. So it may not be immediate, but it's going to start going. It will start breaking through, because even though it's going to show a lot of attention on this land thing, like, because I told my mom, I said, because I ran upstairs with that, I said, this is what I've been waiting for. He's going to be giving away the land, and that's what I've been telling people and telling people and telling people. And so I said, but in Washington State, I'm sure, because they're going to be fighting it, probably California. So I don't know where at first, but there will be certain places. But like I had said, it's going to be the lure, the draw to building new communities and new places, which are going to be more safe zones, the way I'm seeing it. And so the lure will, of course, be, you know, free land. And then I know there's going to be either some kind of, there's going to be cheaper or discounted or something with building supplies, but there's also going to be like kits or something, manufactured homes or something that to help people get them started and stuff. It's just going to be things that we thought you had to work so hard to be able to pay for this, pay for that. It's just going to be coming given to us. Then we're going to see, oh, you know, the world's doing good. Like, how could that be? It's going to be more things to open your mind and see the control over the money and the like the evilness in this world that we've been under the thumb of. And so, anyways, so he has said that he's going to be giving away this land to like combat homelessness or to help homelessness or something like that, because there's so many people who don't. But the thing is look at too, because I was seeing this, I was like, okay, so you take all these people, like they're building apartments all over the place. They're putting in more of their shitty housing, where I've seen other people, construction people or inspector people, go and show like the stuff that they're using is wallboard and stuff. It's like cardboard, like the stuff that the building supplies are just getting more shitty and more shitty. And then they're just throwing these houses together, and inspectors are paid off. It's just all a bunch of shenanigans. And so, but these developers are out there just jacking themselves crazy, trying to throw these houses down to suck us into these fucking loans with their, because it's all this bag scratching too, between all these developers and city planners and all this shit. So, all the permits and all the fucking shit, man. So so if all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna give everybody property, and everybody just all of a sudden, it's like a vacuum, sucks out of the cities where they've got all these places built. What a fucking way to collapse the corporation. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be such a fucking, it'd be like going from a double D to an A. It's like a boom collapse, because it will be all of a sudden everybody, like, who's going to be staying in their apartment? Who's going to be staying in any of their rentals and stuff? You can go over here and you can get land and, you know, put a camper, get a mobile home, build a house, do whatever the fuck you want. Put a tent out there. It's yours. you got to fucking go out and figure it out and do what you want with it. And, oh, one of the things is you have to be over 30. So it's not going to be just giving it to kids. It's going to be everybody who's over 30. And so then it will be like, so if it's a couple, do they get 2 acres? Like, I don't know how it's all going to go. But the restrictions so far, what they're saying is you have to be over 30 and you can't have been in jail in the past year. But there's going to be all sorts of rehab programs and stuff for people who have, you know, is one thing is a lot of criminals are just created out of poverty. So there's going to be a lot of rehab, you know, changing gears. So just because someone has been in jail, I think that there's going to be, but I think it's a real incentive for people to be like, well, I don't want to go to jail. I'm going to stay, you know, especially for kids and teenagers and people who are out there right now on the streets, you know, with all their emotions and stuff, to be thinking, well, you know, I could get some land if I keep my nose straight. So anyways, there will be more incentives and stuff. And so it's going to be a real lean in for us to, you know, for us to go in a new movement. And I was just like, oh my God. So all the places that, all the rentals, all the apartments, everything would suddenly just be like emptied out. And people would just be mass exodus going towards, you know, new beginnings, something different, you know, not having to work so much if you don't having to pay. And so, and there'll be more incentives too, because there'll be more things. Well, what about water? What about power? So it will be more things that'll keep developing. And because this is going to be everything given back to humanity. And but this is kind of like, well, what do you guys think? Do you want this? And it's like, yes, yes, we all want something to call our own. And so, and for it not to be in the government to be able to come in and take it away from us. That's the big thing, is like the bankers, the government and stuff, how they just keep a hook in so they can just take shit from you. So this is where we legit get something that's our own and that they can't fucking mess with. It's like our God-given right. We get some land and we fucking fix it. Like I said, it's more of like the tinders of the earth. And so anyways, once we start going in that direction, but I was like, oh my God, what a perfect way though to collapse that will collapse the economy in such a big way. They got so many things right now, so many balls in the air. So it's going to be super curious to see how it all keeps playing out. But anyways, now the land thing is out there being thrown around. So we'll see how that takes off and where, how it starts working. But, you know, I'm going towards that. I'm going to go towards the new world. Like the old one is going to be falling apart, and I don't know like what all places and what's going to happen. Like even in any city like here, like even though this is supposed to be a safe area, like I don't know that every city. I mean, I couldn't believe the other day these protests that Spokane was having so much problems. But Washington State is so driven by this certain perspective of this certain agenda. And so it's very resistant to this change, which this is another thing too. So I just saw this video. I had heard this term before, but I didn't have any idea what it was. And so it's called a trad wife. And I kept thinking like tread, like don't tread on me or something like that. I had no idea what's a trad wife. So anyways, this video I just saw, this girl was like, oh my God, I just saw the most disgusting trad wife. And so, what are you doing, lady? Whoa. Turning around. So she was like, so disgusted by this trad wife video thing. And, so in this one, so a trad wife, so I went to look it up. What's a trad wife? A trad wife is a traditional wife. And so it's a whole, so you got the progressive, it's the Handmaid's Tale, men suck, we're all lesbians, fuck men. And so you have that whole movement. going. And then you have the other one, because it's two different energies pulling apart from each other. And the only way back is to meet in the middle and find your own place. So to just pull into black or white is, I think the birds have started. To pull into black or white is where you don't want to be. You want to be this or that. You want to be in the middle, in the spectrum. And so because this trad wife thing, okay, so yeah, it's really good to have tradition or whatever. So, and it is a positive thing for women to stay home when they have small kids and take care and teach their kids and all that. But we've got a screwed up society. I saw this one video, this guy who he said he's really getting tired of his wife, and he's working. She doesn't work. They don't have kids either. And there should be something productive that somebody's doing. So I don't think, that all the women need to be out working, but to just be taking advantage of somebody who that's bad energy to be putting out. So so he's out in the heat, over 100 degrees, working 14 hours. He tells her he's exhausted. Please make me something for supper. And so she's like, well, your supper's in the microwave. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. And then so he goes and gets his food out of the microwave. It's two Hot Pockets. So she heated him up 2 Hot Pockets. And he's like, this is not dinner. This is not like, I'm going out and it's out of balance. And that's where, the person has to see, like, this is out of balance. This isn't what I want. I'm just supporting this person who's just going off and doesn't give a shit about me. And so, everybody's got to find their own balance. But but in the traditional wife thing, so on, if somebody has kids, it is way better for the woman to stay home and take care of the kids than it is to find babysitter. I mean, what do we have in our society? We have a bunch of fucking pervs out there just perving on kids. Kids are being killed by like all sorts of horrible shit going on, because the kid is safest with its parent, and a parent should have the time for the kid. And so that part of our tradition should be where we align with, if we're going to have kids together, one of us should be around for them. And then if we need money, then one of us should go out and work for it, and whoever can get the better job probably is the one who should. And so but things can be out of balance in that way too, because there's lots of women who can make more money, and then we just got to do a lot of shifting in our society, a lot of looking at things different. But to go all in on this trad wife thing is like you're creating another toxic environment, because everything will go into a cesspool of emotions if you don't find balance. And so the thing is that these women, the one that this girl was so outraged by, which is kind of funny too, because what the stuff she was saying was kind of similar to what I was saying about, you have one group of guys who's very into being who they are, who they want to be, and then you have another group of guys who is very structured over roles, and a lot of them are not living their truth. There's a lot of women, there's been a lot of videos of women whose husbands are all on hunting trips, but then they get found in hotels. The Brokeback Mountain situation. So there's a lot of guys who are not being truthful over, their interests and not living their truth. And then you have these other guys who are just putting it out there, but then they're also being used too. But there's a definite structure that people are willing to follow, but that's where we've got to not just create a conformity structure. It needs to be more of a standard where we have higher standards, but we aren't being told by one another what to do and how to be. But the vibration creates the structure of the standard. So that's where we reach a higher vibration, then automatically there will be people who, because it would be too uncomfortable to go against it. And it's just going to move out of this toxic way of being. And so in this trad thing, that, so in this video, she's talking about this, the girl, she won't make eye contact. She won't speak. We go out to a restaurant. She doesn't touch anything. Her husband, I guess she touches a fork or maybe a knife, but she doesn't touch doors. She doesn't touch chairs, nothing. She's like a little Barbie doll and places her. Yeah, I just got that vision of that movie with uh, Ryan Gosling when he's dating that blow-up doll or whatever. It's like, yeah, you don't want to just be a blow-up doll in somebody's world. And I think that's kind of what this girl in this other video was kind of saying. Like, this is very fetishy. And she was going all on, like, you know, why don't you get on your hands and knees, and, you know, this whole submissive thing and how they like treat them like animals and stuff. So, so there can be fetishy shit. That's where it can go dark. And and besides, guys that want to be controlling can completely take over control. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to look at men. You're not allowed to look up. I mean, that's kind of leaning a little bit into where, you know, cover your hair, your eyes can show, and you better keep them lowered. Don't be looking anybody eye to eye and all that stuff. It's like, no, no, you don't just go and come up with this thing and then just be like, yeah, this is the new trend. We're just going to be dominated by this other person. That goes toxic. Like, there's so much toxic characteristics to this domination kind of relationship where the man is this dominant. There should be partnerships. There should be more equality. There should be more respect. And a woman should be able to order her own food. Like, you just look at, you point to look at your husband like, it's like, what? No. And the people who would be wanting that from a woman would be somebody who has to be in control, doesn't want any, you know, so, and when somebody is that rigid in their control, then every little, believe you me, I've lived this. You can't do anything. You cannot. Yeah, it is fucking toxic cesspool just waiting to blow up. No. If you're going towards in trying to make a healthy relationship, just to fall to your knees to the other person's stuff is not the way to go. If you're in a partnership, that's what you want to be working towards. An equality of respect in the relationship. You know, even if one person is the one working, then the other person would be at home working the home, you know, cooking, cleaning, taking care of things, taking care of the kids, so that when this person comes home, then they have, like, you know, their safe space and time that they can spend with their kids and stuff. And and I know a lot of women, you know, especially when your kids are little and you have a whole bunch of them and they're going in every direction and they're fighting and it's just utter chaos. And sometimes you can't get all the laundry done. You can't get all the cooking done. You can't get this done and that done. But these are also things that you can work on in yourself with your organization, coming up with a new plan, you know, coming up with schedules, coming up with a direction to, you know, keep your kids going through the day, or structure your day better, you know. It's ways that you can find in your own self that you can create the world that you want it to be and not just be sucked into the chaos that is being there. So you can go towards, you know, a more structured day with your kids. You're not, but, you know, I completely get how overwhelming it can be, and a lot of people are not very organized in being able to keep up with laundry and cleaning and all that stuff. But hopefully you have a partner then who is like, it's okay. The house doesn't have to be perfectly clean all the time. And sometimes, you know, we can eat things that are quick, like crock pot meals. Like, all you gotta do is dump some stuff in a crock pot and let it do the cooking for you, and go sit and read with your kids. Get them outside, make them run around a lot, and get them tired. You know, do things. There's a lot of the stuff that they have energy, and you know, get a part of their energy. You know, take them out to the park, run around with them, have fun with them, and then they're not just at the house making big messes either. teach them to enjoy cleaning, for one thing. That's one thing I've never understood when people, like, you have to go in and clean up all their stuff. Get them involved. Show them, make it fun. Make it incentive driven, And then one thing too is I've always thought was a really good idea is like have the crates or whatever with certain toys, and then get them to, well, these toys go in this, these toys go in this. And one thing too, because when I lived this life, and when I was overwhelmed, then it was like, don't get them all out. Like, you can get this crate out with these toys and put the other ones away. And then when a certain crate comes out, it has a lot of attention. Oh, I haven't seen these toys in so long. I'm going to play with them so long. And so you have a lot more, instead of just like everything's everywhere. It's just too much. Like, and the kids got all their stuff out at once, and then it's way more complicated to even clean up. But teach them how to organize. Teach them how to appreciate a clean room and stuff. Don't let them just, where you're always one having to clean up after them. And I was making my bed when I was 2 years old. And my mom didn't make me make my bed. She didn't know that a kid would make their bed. She said, I just went in and started making my bed. And I was just, the kids capable. Watch the kids in China, what those kids are fucking out there with so fucking, what is that? What was I seeing it? Like, those, like Shanghai chefs or something out there just chopping and those kids, they're playing with knives, scissors, glue, cooking, cutting, doing all sorts of shit in kindergarten. And where we're like, oh no, they don't know how to do that. Yeah, it's like, these kids are fucking powerhouses. So give a kid, put more into that they are more capable than what you think. Way more capable than what you think. Like, give them, and give them some direction. So anyways, but going into this, like, you can't look up and you can't do this, you can't talk to the waiter and all that stuff. Like, no. And you have all these women who are like, this is what they're doing. They're going into the trad wife. It's a trend of being this total submissive woman to your husband. That's not balance, man. It's not. And maybe your husband needs to quit feeling like he's got to lean out of being in control of everything, because that's an insatiable hunger, where somebody has got to be in control and control and control. And the more things go out of control, the more it's going to bother them. And where you got to do is get comfortable with things not being in control of them. You don't have control over this world, over the things happening. You got to come to peace with that. And know that you're okay, know that you're safe, just like that girl. As soon as she came out of her body, she was like, no big deal. She wasn't scared. There was nothing. She kept trying to communicate with her mom, because her mom was crying and having a fit. And she said she kept trying to communicate with her and telling her that she's okay. Mom, I'm okay. Mom, I'm okay. And that her mom couldn't hear. That's the thing that happens when people come out of their bodies. They can't communicate with the other people, and the other people are losing their minds, and they're always trying to comfort them. That's why if you've lost somebody, just know they're around you trying to comfort you. They don't want you to think that, they're in pain or they're suffering or they're nowhere to be found. They're right there trying to communicate, but you are trapped in your emotional consumption of pain and suffering, so you can't hear them because you're in the midst of loss. And so the more you can tune into that, but also there's factors to learning what it is to experience loss. So if you can't hear them, stuff that's like, then you don't need to. You need to experience what it is that is the most in your face. If it's, loss and feeling isolated and missing this person and your own guilt and your shame and you wish you would have done this, you wish you would have done that, all of that, then that's what you need to go through. You don't need to be like, well, I'm going to just sit. I know they're here. They'll forgive me. No, go through your process. Don't just look for, a creation of something to not let go of something. Because we're in this thing. Well, this is the time. Let go of shit, man. Let go of all the different stuff. Let go of thinking that people need to agree with you in order to make you valid. No, nobody has to agree with you to make you valid. You're fucking valid just in your own thoughts. You have a whole distinct God, there's a lot of words coming in my head. Is a whole view, a whole perspective of who you are, and that is valid. Is a perspective, as an opinion, is, it's out there. The universe appreciates it, so you got to learn to appreciate it. And but in all these different relationships, what we're looking for is balance, and not being sucked in, not being expected to give. Because I even said, so am I supposed to change myself in order to make you, like, I can't have my own opinions and stuff, especially when you're reading my thoughts and you're getting mad about my thoughts? He said, I'm allowed to have my own thoughts, man. So, see, you got to be like, I'm going to have my own thoughts. It's okay. You get to have your thoughts. I get to have my thoughts. We don't have to agree on them. And I'm going to, there's a reason why I look at things the way I look at them. You're allowed to look at things the way you look at them. And, but, yeah, when you're people who can pick up on your emotions and your thoughts and all that stuff, and then to be like, well, I can hear what you're thinking. And it's like, well, and then you should know I'm holding my tongue. Which is another funny thing, because I had just said that a little while earlier, because she came out and she was about to say something, and then she said she bit her cheek, and I said, oh, so you're being shown to hold your tongue at times. But that is a valid thing, hold your tongue, think about things. You don't have to say something all the time. A lot of times, what I noticed, even in myself, but in the healing, is we talk sometimes just out of uncomfortable, just like to create some illusion of connection. So we talk sometimes, but we don't need to. We don't need to always be talking. We don't need to always be giving our opinions or whatever. Silence is okay. And there's a lot going on in the silence anyways. And kind of the silence just is more, telepathy. And so anyways, but I had said, though, for how long have I been saying that the people are going to start having more telepathic things that, like, especially when they have the total awareness, like, I can hear you. I can hear your thoughts. I know what you're thinking. And then, of course, it's going to be in the closest relationships at first, because we have patterns of understanding each other. So we can pick up on little things, and that's what also creates a lot of PTSD, or keeping us trapped and like, well, I'm not going to say anything because this is what happens every time. It's like, but not going in and saying, you need to stop, you need to do that, just being like, questioning to me, why can't I have my own thoughts? Why can't I feel this way? What in you is it you needing from me? And then that stops him to think, like, yeah, what is it? Why, and that's what the beauty is, putting it back on somebody, letting them walk themselves through it so that they can all see, like, I don't need to control this person. I don't need this person to agree with me. Like, what's the point? And usually, we can always find a room full of people who will agree with us and a room full of people who won't. So it doesn't matter. You're always going to have people on your side, and you're always going to have people who are opposing. It's just the way it is. You got to find your own place in this crazy-ass world. And so, but in anything where it is extreme, or people, a lot of submission or something, that's not the direction. The direction we're going is everything is about balance, balancing yourself, balancing your relationships. It's going into a world of balance. It's like the standard that we're going towards. And that's why we have to find our own balance and be willing, because you can't find any balance if you're not willing to face yourself, to see your own dark side. And then there's a whole process to accepting this dark side of yourself, the rigid side, the angry side, the bitchy side, the judgmental side, the hateful side, this side of you that makes you a bad guy in some people's lives. And so, and then that acknowledgement of being like, well, we're all good and bad in each other's lives, and there was a purpose to it, and let's get over this game, and let's start working towards going in a positive direction. And that's what we're going to do. That's what's going to happen. do all this stuff. And I don't know, I mean, you can see like that takes a lot of pressure off people if all of a sudden they have land to do something with. And it will throw a lot of people off. Like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know what to do. Well, go watch what other people do then. You know, this is a role modeling situation. Some people will show others what to do. Some people will show, like, and some people will do real cool shit, man. Some people, and whole communities will build up. There'll be some really cool shit, and that will help other people figure it out. But yeah, there's going to be people that don't know what to do, have no clue what to do. But there will be a lot of people who it's programmed into them, and they're going to show the world. And so it's going to be really exciting. And just like the one person who in the comments was talking about that, they've really gotten into foraging and learning about herbs and stuff, which I'm telling you, that is going to be lucrative in a lot of communities and stuff. People who know that stuff, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to want to know that stuff. And I don't know how it's all going to go, if it's going to be people writing books, because there's already a lot of books, or having a apothecary, some kind of little market where people can come in and buy your herbs and talk to you, and you are teaching them. And people will come to your place to just buy your stuff to learn from you and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of a shifting where your knowledge and your direction, your desire, your love for something will become prosperous. So your love for herbs and your love for nature and learning about these things, there will be a prosperous, because that's the direction that we're going. This other lady, like, who cares? Let everybody pay their money. I'm going to have as many applications as I can possibly fit in. And then I'm going to bitch about how many I've got to look at. It's like, okay, I'm telling you right now, Chick, your energy is you're not going to like it when it flips back over on you. You're not going to like it at all. And some of these people, it will be. They're going to lose their places. They're going to lose their shit. Nobody's going to be coming to get in your place. And so, and however it plays out, we'll see, because there's going to be, I know that the loans and stuff, so the people who already own houses, they're not going to owe anything, and their land and stuff will be theirs. And I don't know, some may want to upgrade and go to bigger land, maybe they just have a little edge. And so they want more land, and people will be leaving that, and it won't matter, because that will be like a exodus out of the cities, and you won't owe anything on it, so it'll just be, we'll see how it all plays out, and this big fucking transit thing that's supposed to be happening. So what I've heard is that this is like this opening energy of manifestation. So it's going to really show people the direction that they are going in. And so if you're going in a really positive direction, you're going to start seeing. And if you're going in a really negative one, you're going to start seeing. But it's going to keep blowing up. And I just say you got to pay attention. Confirmation. You got to pay attention to what it is you're putting out. Like, this lady has no awareness. She totally thinks that she's just doing something that's totally okay, because that's just the way it is. It's like, yeah, but you are fucking people over. And that is not cool. And not having a empathy or a heart for what these people are doing and going through. And everybody's hopeful and trying to find a place to live. And this is how you're treating them. So that energy is going to blow up, but this other is going to be going. And so I don't know how it's all going to play out. It definitely seems like, it's a part of the ending of one thing and the beginning of another. And it seems like a positive shift, though, where some of the stuff is going to be traumatic, that's going to turn things. This seems like a positive thing. But anyways, that will be more people leaving the cities. But I had said, that there's going to be a lot of luring people to safer places, because a lot of people don't realize the stuff that's going to go on. There's going to be a huge change in our landscape, and we're right on the edge of whatever this big change is. And so, a lot of these astrologers and stuff are saying this is the thing. This right here is this changing. You're going to see which direction you're going. I don't know. We'll see as this all plays out over the next week. But it's like there's been so many of these things that have come and gone, and it's just kind of been like, same kind of thing. So, but their big change is ahead. Things are going to continue to change. What direction you put your energy is going to matter, and things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. And but that is also where you got to focus on that energy of things getting better and stop focusing on fear and they're gonna kill us all and all this stuff. It's like they can't kill you, so you're wasting time on that. And even if you go out of this game, you're not dead, so you live on. You just don't live here. And so many people hate it here anyways. It's like, why, you're gonna just go to another place. Why, don't get all caught up in the fear of leaving here. It just reminds me of when I was a kid and I was so fearful of like, what happens when you die? Where do you go? What's gonna be? And but there's people who still have that, and but there's nothing to fear. You just like that little girl. You just come bouncing out of your body. You try and talk to people, then you go and you start talking to the people who are in your realm, and so you're fine. There's nothing. This is all an illusion, and it's very extreme. So, anyways, I've been talking a long time. It seems like there was some more things. There was the thing yesterday that I forgot to say. I can't remember it, but there's shit tons of shit going on, and everything's gonna keep on. And all I can say is I'm really hoping that this week is. I hope this transit Jupiter thing is the time where we really do see our manifestations taking off and taking form. But for it to start out and him to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give everybody an acre of land, then it was like, oh my gosh, it just felt like a step in the right direction of towards our manifestations, towards our independence and our freedom. So we'll see how more things play out, but don't forget he's battling this corporation, global Zionists, and crazy motherfuckers the money hoarders of the world who want to be in control of everything. And so the battle goes on, but a lot of it isn't even a real battle. It's to show who the players are in the battle so that when people are being, the squad is taking the people out, that people will be like, oh, okay, well, they made some bad choices. When you're trying to destroy humanity, then see ya. But don't forget, there's no real death. They're just out of the game. We're just getting rid of the dark players. The bad guys are leaving. And but anyways, I just think it's so funny too with him. Like, they need to get their fucking shit together, or whatever it was he said, because it is so much like what any of us would say. And these people just freaking the fuck out. It's like, why can't you see like how real he is? And but anyways, so I imagine there's going to be more. I can't believe how they can all talk about this and talk about it and talk about it, like, and think that he's so crazy because he said they need to get their fucking shit together. They do, and these fucking wars is all. Oh yeah, and I saw footage of the people in Iran and in Syria. They love him because he's making change. He's taking down the bad guys. And the bad guys have been in control of some of these places for a long ass time. And so there's people who, in Syria, like they have they're taking his logo, Make Syria Great Again. And so they've got hats printed out, like there's a whole movement. He's taking down the leaders that have been, that have been in total control of the people. And Iran is feeling very, the ones I have seen, is liberated. They're being liberated, and a lot of liberation is going on, and we are being liberated, but we, the people, they are so indoctrinated that they want to keep the world as it was. It's like, no, being liberated is a freedom. It's moving out of this controlled, centered world and moving into the great unknown. So, anyways, I'm just gonna wrap it up because I'm just rambling and I know there's more I could say, but I can't remember it all. So, whatever. These are the things that I left you to chew with today. But anyways, but when you are speaking, just don't go in and argue with it, especially right now when people are being triggered. Don't try and lecture. Don't try and fight back or something. Just ask them why. Why are you feeling so? What is it? Why are you feeling so overwhelmed right now by something that I'm thinking or saying? You know, and get them to start processing in their own selves, start looking at themselves in a deeper way like that, and start getting a handle on their own emotions. You know, because we're not better than each other. You know, we're here to trigger one another into these growing phases. So, yeah, being in the entanglement and the trap of arguing and that's your own ego needing something, you know, I need my mom or I need big, you know, I need, you know, it's like, it's to get out of these traps and start standing on your own, you know, you don't need anybody to give you anything to be whole, you know, you just need to find yourself and to love yourself, you know, because that's what I say. Learn how to love yourself because learning how to love yourself is everything. So learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and learn how to have the day you want to have because you have the ability. So manifest the day you want to have, and then we'll talk about it again tomorrow. So talk to you later. Bye.